I just had to show this in a pre-practice race before the actual race began. Now, Ruth Big Bird was trying to spin around to get back on the racetrack, and he actually got stuck on the curb. And I found this to be pretty funny, I must say, because he couldn't really do anything. He tried reversing, tried going forward, tried going backwards, but in the end, he got disqualified. But yeah, I thought it was pretty funny. Anyway, what up, guys and girls? Another brand new video coming at you today, and finally, the season is here. The Aussie Sim Racing Series Xbox One F3 League is here. We can finally get the season underway. Now, just a few things to clarify from the practice race 2 in Belgium. There has been a few movements since that practice race. Neon Tree Dome has been promoted to the F2 League because he's a way quicker driver than any of us, really. Captain Farah has now moved to Mercedes. xBuRtonn, who was originally supposed to be my teammate at Haas, has moved back to Sauber. Spagbowl joined before the season began, so he is now at Sauber. But more importantly, I am now moved from Haas to Ferrari, which I'm pretty excited about. But yeah, my teammate will be unveiled. And what do I predict for this season ahead? Well, I don't really know. I mean, this is a brand new series for me. I mean, again, Tiamat Mardik was probably one of the reasons why I got into this series, because we're picking our first qualifying lap right here. But if I could get in the top 10 of the championship, maybe get a few wins, get a few podiums, even the odd pole position or whatnot, you know, I'd be pretty happy. I mean, there are some quality guys. I'm going to say there's plenty of times throughout this, but here we are in qualifying. We just run a little bit wide down at turn 12. Pretty much buggered up the first lap that I did in this session. But yeah, there's a lot of, like I was saying, there was a lot of guys here that probably are a lot quicker than me. Some of them I've only just new to, and some that have been racing for probably the majority of the Aussie Sim Racing series. As Ruth Big Bird now sits at 1:23.5, but
last lap put you into P10. You're currently in P10.
Yeah, I mean, this was exciting qualifying. My teammate has unfortunately left the session because he was having a few connection issues, but yeah, you can see there, Spagbowl's actually retired from the session as well. He looks like he's had a big crash coming out of between turns 5 and 6. So, but for us, we were on a flyer, and we actually exceeded the track limits at turn 11. As you can see from the delta time, we would have gained a hell of a lot of time, but in the end, I decided to bail out of that lap and just come back in and chuck on a new set of tyres. I accidentally sped into the pit lane, which wasn't ideal. You only get a warning, really, for qualifying, as we just go ghosting through the Red Bull. I think that might have been schulty to Aussie from memory. But yeah, I was hoping to really chuck on a new set of ultra soft tyres, which I did in the end. There's still about a bit under 6 minutes left in the session, so I knew I had plenty of time. I probably didn't take out a lot of the car's fuel, because at the time I didn't really know. So yeah, Captain Farah's actually retired from the session. Here's exactly what happened. Coming around turn 3, just runs a little bit wide, probably gets on the power too much, and he's lost his front right wheel. And that was pretty much his session done, so he's going to be starting lower down the grid, I dare say. But yeah, we finally make our way out. Like I said, I didn't take the majority of the fuel out, so I probably should have maybe taken less fuel for this qualifying run. But for this upcoming lap, just getting the tyres on the bottom. For this upcoming lap, I'm going to remain quiet. I'm just going to let you guys and girls enjoy a lap of Albert Park. Enjoy. be so annoyed if FOM decides to block this video because of that lap, but we do set provisional pole with a 1:23.3. You might have seen there, Lockie retired from the session. He's on board with Sato. You could just see him off to the right there, so obviously he's just had a bit of maybe a big moment coming out of the turns 11 and 12 section, because that is a very fast section. If you get that wrong, you could easily bugger up your lap. But as you can see here, I decided to continue on for another lap to see if I can improve my time a little bit more. I felt like I didn't quite get enough out of the lap time anyway. As you can see there, actually went a bit purple in sector 1, but that delta time is actually starting to creep up a bit more. We're nearly about half 2/10 up now as we go through turn 11 and we exceed the track limits again. So this is the second time we've done that. Probably would have gone a little bit quicker anyway, but I thought may as well, since there's about 40 odd seconds left, we may as well go for one more fly lap. If it doesn't really work out, well, we'll just pretty much take what we get. And you see there, Sanguinius Prime has retired from the session. Looks like that's happened just a bit after the turn 12 fast section. There were a lot of guys who were having a few connection issues since we actually go purple through sector 1. But as we come around this flying 11-12 section, we just lose the back end of the car, and that's pretty much it done. And I didn't really move much, but it just lost the front right wheel, and that was pretty much the session done. Probably would have gone a lot quicker, maybe even into the odd 22s, but in the end, we do set pole position for the first race of the season. Ignore Unveil because he was having a few connection issues, but yeah, I was a bit shocked, to be honest with you. Like I said earlier, there are a lot of guys here that have probably a lot more experience than me in this series. Some of them, I say some of them, not all of them, but yeah, I felt pretty chuffed really to get the first pole position for season 3 in the F3 league. But you can see here from the race strategy here, the weather's pretty much fine. No wet weather forecast. It's pretty much starting on ultra soft tyres and going to another set of ultra softs and then going to the super soft tyres. We had a pretty good lobby here as well. About 14 of us, I think, in the end. But I must say, it felt pretty weird when I led off with a formation lap, because being my first online part of the series, for me anyway, this was certainly new. As we have a look on board with Sato's formation lap start, you just see all the lag there. There was a lot of it, but xBuRtonn's now been disqualified from, it's actually the formation lap, not the session. He hasn't been fully kicked out of the session, but he's just back on the starting grid. He must have had a little tangle with somebody on the formation lap. It can happen, but he wasn't the only one. You see there, Captain Farah as well as Spagbowl as well, both been disqualified, and I think maybe Roxman as well, just right near the end. You can see there, Rogo's pops up Roxman, but, and well, as well as Sanguinius Prime. So there was a few that decided not to do it, but we pull up to the pole position grid, and here we go. We're all set for the first race of this Aussie Sim Racing Series. 5 red lights. Let's do it at Albert Park, and it's, well, I must say it wasn't really the best start. Probably a lot more wheel spin. We just get ahead of Hrithik Bird as ahead to turn 1. We just lose the rear end. Managed to survive. A bit of a touch there, but Roxman's already out of this race. You see yellow flags there. There's a bit of contact there. Lockie is a bit all over the shop there. Not sure whether that was to do with lag or not, but going down to turn 3. And Hrithik Bird is the leader. I'm now in second place, you can tell, and that's Captain Farah behind in P3. Head now up to turn 9. Nearly lost the rear end at Hrithik Bird, so did I, but there's a few guys have actually gone off the track. I think Captain Farah might have been one of them. Not sure who the other one was, but there's more yellow flags down there at turn 9, so a bit of a chaotic start. We've already lost a couple of, well, I think Roxman's a definite, but still we've got 13 runners here for this race here in Australia. But let's have a look at some onboards. He's on board with Captain Farah. And Hyperdo's actually had a shocking start there. Didn't really move much. Schulty to Aussie there in the Red Bull. He's head down to turn 1. Goes for the inside of Sato. Does a massive corner cut right there. And there goes. I think that might have been Spagbowl. But that's why Lockie was just going absolutely everywhere. But his head down into turn 3. Nearly looked up the inside of Hrithik Bird, but just couldn't quite have enough. Now to turn 4, and he gets another warning here for exceeding track limits. So he's not off to a great start. He's coming into turn 9. He's one of them that actually went off the road at turn 9. I think the other one may have been Spagbowl, but after all that, Spagbol managed to get a great run out of there. There's been a contact between those two, heading into the fast left and right-hander at 11 and 12. But Spagbol's had a shocking run through there, and Captain Farah's actually got the spot back. But he's on board with Sato, started from P5. Not a too bad start, I must say. His teammate Lockie alongside. He started on the super soft tyres. He was on a bit of a different strategy to pretty much all of us. But there comes Captain Farah. Stinchy's off the road a little bit. There goes Spagbol. He might have tagged the wall a little bit, which wasn't ideal. Lockie's going all over the shop, but a bit of lag coming into it. And the teammates have tangled a little bit, and Sato's lost half his front wing. So that's not the ideal start that Sato would have had to his season, but Lockie's still laying all over the place. He actually lets Sato go through, but Sato's compromise coming through here, and he's actually gone well wide, and Lockie's gone through as well does schulty to Aussie. So not an ideal start, but as you come down to turn 9, here's the other commotion of what happened. So Sanguinius Prime tags Stinchy, and Ikawas was in there as well. And that would explain why Ikawas has gone wide at 11 and 12. He's probably got no front wing, or damaged the front wing, and Sato gets that spot out of position 9. But he's on board now with Stinchy, so we can have a better look at what occurred further up the road. As you see there, goes up the inside of Sato. He's going pretty swimmingly here at the moment. There's coming into turn 9 now. Prime will have a look up the inside. I don't think he's quite there, and around goes Stinchy, and that explains why Ikawas has got the front wing damage. We come back. We've completed lap 1. We avoided all the carnage behind, thankfully, but yeah, we're not really too bad. We were just trying to chase after xBuRtonn and make a gap back to Captain Farah. I mean, he wasn't really too far behind. There's a few guys actually coming into the pit lane now, as we can see with the onboard of Sato. He's now changing his front wing, and I had a feeling it might have been Ikawas who also had the front wing damage, so he's in the lane as well. So this is not ideal for both of them. As we come on now back to my field of view, and turn 9 was definitely not one of my favourite corners. I just hated that corner, right, left and centre. You probably see throughout this whole video that there would be a lot of turn 9 incidents. Well, not incidents, but slides. But, start flying lap. xBuRtonn pretty much set the flying lap. We weren't too far behind, about maybe half a second worth. But Sato trying to go around the outside of Sanguinius Prime, who's come into the pit lane, I think for a change of tyres, possibly changing a front wing as well. But now the virtual safety car has been deployed. Not a bad way to start the Aussie Sim Racing series with a virtual safety car, but is probably the reason why. So Sato runs a little bit wide, probably got a bit too much curb, and he's just tagged the wall. That was an easy spot there for Sanguinius Prime, who's now into the 10. Managed to get away with damage, but now coming into turn 9, and Sanguinius Prime's going well wide down there, and that's an easy spot back to Sato, who's tagged the wall there. Managed to get the wall, tag the wall, but wasn't really too bad. May have got that wrong, maybe. Might not have been Sato that caused the virtual safety car, but coming around, nearly turn 15, I think we are. I'm not really too sure what number that is. Yes, it is turn 15. As we come on now to lap 5, we started to lose a little bit of the ground to xBuRtonn. You see there 3.1 seconds, but we did start to gap Captain Farah a little bit more. As you see there from the mini-map down in the bottom left. We have a fair distance over him. Look at that, nearly 9.5 seconds clear over him, so nearly lose the rear end just then at turn 9, but get my first track extended warning at turn 11, but yeah, we were just trying to catch xBuRtonn and see what we can do with this pace.
A few moments later.
Now as we come into turn 13, you see that xBuRtonn has actually spun, and I've actually spun as well. It was right there, that place for the first place. It was just right there, and I've made an absolute meal of it. Captain Farah goes through. I think Lockie's just gone through, and now it's just made it even worse with me spinning off into the gravel. Probably because of all the debris that I've got on my tyres, but I'm just losing spots right, left, and centre. And I thought at this point in time, I thought this was my race done. There was no way in hell that I would get the win for the first race of the season. Just managed to make our way, so we decided in the end to come into the pit lane, and I think xBuRtonn has actually done the same thing, managed to just slow it down compared to what happened in qualifying. But I thought that the team would actually change my front wing, considering it was yellow, but they didn't, so it was definitely not ideal. But we've now changed onto a set of super softs. Now, Ruthless Bird has actually gone onto the soft tyre, so he's probably looking to go for a bit longer at this stint, but it wasn't really ideal when they didn't change my front wing. As Sato now actually sets the fastest lap of the race. We managed to just come out ahead of him, and actually the virtual safety car's been deployed again. It was very weird how the virtual safety car was being deployed when there was not much happening, but then out of turn 9, I said I was going to mention turn 9 a lot during this video, and we just ran a little bit wide, gave the momentum, losing momentum there to Sato in P10. Tried to go to the inside of the fast left right hander. We tried to manage to try and go around the outside, but compromise our line, and that's an easy spot there for Sato, who's now up into position 9. Wasn't really ideal, I thought, in the end, but nearly binned it again coming around. I think this is turn 13. Yes, it is turn 13. We were still battling with our front wing damage. Might have had something to do with it, but he's on board with Sato. As you can see there, we ran a little bit wide, kept the momentum, losing momentum right, left, and centre, and actually went up the inside. So I tried to go around the outside, get the grass a little bit, compromise my line, but just look at the run that Sato has, and that was an easy spot there for position 9. As you can see there, Ruthless Bird's had a big moment coming out of turn 1 as we cut back to me now. You can see a bit further on, Spagwell's actually run wide there. That's not ideal. That's actually slowed Ruthless Bird down quite a lot. We actually get a great run coming out of turn 5. Sorry, turn 4, I should say. We have a big moment coming off turn 5 off the curb, and just managed to save it. I don't know how, but we had an opportunity there. But you can see there on the bottom right, I've now changed my repair wing damage one to yes, and even changed this onto the soft tyres as well, because I didn't know how long the super softs would go. But here's Captain Farah, who's in position 2, and he's off the road at turn 3. It's off the gravel trap, manages to just get away with it and not lose a position, because Lockie's well ahead on the super soft tyres. Like I said, he's going on a different strategy, and with Stingy, but someone's off at turn 1, and that's actually brought the virtual safety car out. And that looks like it might have been Sato there in the Toro Rosso, but as we come a bit further on down into turn 3, he actually goes a little bit wide and gasses it up, just pretty much like what Captain Farah did in qualifying. And I don't think he's got away with it badly. I think he's come out of it badly, let's put it that way. But here's the replay, went up the outside of Burton. This runs a little bit wide, and here's the man that brought out the virtual safety car. This is the third one, would you believe? And it was only brought out because of people running off. But he was actually, when I watched his video back, he was actually trying to get his position back, but he gets on a bit of the curb too much, gets on the accelerator too hard, and loses half his right wing again. So not ideal for him, but here we are cutting back to my view, as we see now Ruthless Bird going up the inside of xBuRtonn. We are battling for position, and xBuRtonn's definitely going on a longer run, but watch what happens here. He just randomly, that was just a random moment, and that did not prompt me to pit that lap, I must admit. Because I didn't think there was going to be a safety car for what we saw in the virtual safety cars, but you're on board with Captain Farah. He's coming in for his first stop of the afternoon, and he's going to put on the super soft tyres. But just watch what happens when he leaves the lane. He actually goes straight into Stingy's car. Now, in real life, you probably wouldn't get away with it. It'd probably be a big collision. But Stingy also came in as well for the super soft tyres, and yeah, that's their early pit stops done. They probably have to do another pit stop. There goes Ruthless Bird out of the lane, and here comes Spagwell. Now, this is an interesting battle. Spagwell goes around the outside, just gets ahead of Captain Farah, who is on the freshest set of super soft tyres, like I said. But yeah, here's the replay of what happened with xBuRtonn. Now, it was a little bit of lag, but let's watch what happens here. That was just a weird, random moment there. All of a sudden, he just lost his front wing, but it was just all weird. Even when he sent me the video and I watched it back, I thought, that is just weird. But anyway, we come in for our second stop of the race, and we are going long, definitely. You know, we put the soft tyres on, and we changed our front wing, which was very grateful, I must admit, because I wasn't feeling comfortable at all with the car, and And now with an actual front wing, we can actually do some stuff that we couldn't do before. But there was a few other guys coming into the lane, and I think xBuRtonn might have been one of them. Here's Sato going up the inside into the pit lane. That's a interesting move into the lane to get a position. Well done, mate. But there it comes. There goes me out of the pit lane after my service. But Sato's coming in again for the second front wing change of the race. And he's going onto the soft tyres. I assume xBuRtonn is definitely needing a front wing after what occurred. Let me know down in the comments below what do you think happened with xBuRtonn. But here we are coming up with the start of lap 11. We just managed to get around Hyperdeuce, who actually locked up, and thankfully didn't actually drill me there. But the strategy's sort of working out now as we cut now to, again, turn 9. One of my favourite corners. A lot of sarcasm there, I must admit. But again, the virtual safety car actually got deployed again for the 4th time in this race. So someone's obviously just run. It just seemed to happen when someone just ran a little bit wide. They just bring out the virtual safety car for no apparent reason. But we get back racing. It took about nearly half the lap before they actually allowed us to go racing here. But he's on board again with Captain Farah. Now, I did say Spagbowl just get ahead of him at the pit stops. But you see here, he's making the move now into turn 3. Get that move done nice and easy. Yes, he does. So that's position 4 now for Captain Farah over Spagbowl. Obviously, like I said, on the fresher rubber, but now we're starting to nearly lose the rear end there. Turn 3, that would have been chaotic, diabolical if I made an absolute meal of it there. It wasn't going to be ideal for my ride, so I just thought I had to settle back down, but Kai was there. We did start to catch him dramatically throughout this stint, and I must also mention, I do apologise for all the notifications popping up. I didn't know how to turn the notifications off at the time, but now, since this first round, I have now learnt. But Kai was actually came into the pit lane for his second stop, but as you see there, Frizzy's lagging all over the shop there, and Sato gets up the inside for position 10, but actually runs a little bit wide, but manages to hold on to the position. Cut now back onto lap 14. You see there, we cut the corner a little bit at turn 12, but didn't get a warning. I thought during that race I was going to get corner cutting for that at turn 12, but I somehow managed to get away with it. A little slide out there at a turn 13. But no, we managed to survive, and what can I say? We just had to push on. You may have noticed the yellow flag there, and he's on board with a schulty to Aussie coming into turn 1 to begin lap 15. I think that's Lockie going up his inside. They make contact, and around goes schulty to Aussie. That's not ideal, and I think Lockie may have gone around. I think Rhythmic Bird's gone straight through that gap there, so that's not ideal for both those guys. They have to get back going again. You see there, we're back again with turn 9. What else is new? Just sliding the car everywhere. Probably wasn't ideal for tyre wear, but and nothing really I can do. It was going on the lap 16. We actually ran a little bit too deep there into turn 9, and somehow managed to get away with it then. Like I said, turn 9 was one of my favourite spots on the track. And again, that is a lot of sarcasm. You see there now, both schulty to Aussie and Captain Farah are making their second stops of the race. It's a bit of a battle here between the crews, Mercedes and Red Bull. Now both going on to another set of super soft tyres. So, and schulty manages to stay ahead in that battle, but I think Sauber's there ready as well. That must be for Spagbowl, so he's in again. But as we come on to our point of view, start lap 17, we actually gained those few positions while those boys were actually in the lane. And we're now back up into position 4. Yeah, which I thought after the long day we had, nearly lose the rear end again at turn 3. But after that incident we had with Rhythmic Bird spinning around and then I spin around, I thought my race was actually done. You see there a bit more yellow flags at turn 9. Though it wasn't just me that was causing a bit more dramas at turn 9. A bit more dramas, but I never thought I'd be back up at P4. Here's the reason why. schulty to Aussie's gone well wide, and he's taken Captain Farah, had nowhere to go, and he's lost half his front wing, which wasn't ideal at all. So I think he managed to continue. I don't know whether he actually pitted or he continued on, but he's on board with Spagbowl. He didn't actually make it any better, and he's hit the back of Schulty to Aussie, just came straight out into the front of him, and that was pretty much the end, I think, of Spagbol's race. Here goes Schulty to Aussie again. He's going well wide and actually put off Sato there, and he's lost his half his front wing again. It's just not ideal, this race for Sato, but I assume Spagbol will have to come in again. That wasn't ideal. Schulty goes well wide there at turn 13, but into the lane we go as Sato comes in again for his third stop, and Spagbol's in as well for a definitely more front wing change. This is the third front wing change, so I hope Toro Rosso have plenty more front wings in store for the next race in China, I believe it is. So they better have a few more front wings up their sleeve. You can see there, Lockie now sets the fastest lap of the race into the 26s. We cut on now to lap 18. There's a few more guys making their way into the lane. We were pretty much on our own here in position 4. As you can see there, Sato having a look up the inside of Burton, gets a great run out of turn 13, goes side by side with him, and actually gets the position 9 now for Sato. So he's making a comeback through the field. As you cut on down to lap 19, you see there the tyre wear wasn't really too bad. Probably that left rear was probably the worst of the lot, but we won't go into the engine compartment use because it's not really much use in this online race. But Frizy actually had issues with his connection, so unfortunately he left the session. But now come on to lap 20. Here's more drama. Yellow flags down at turn 9, so we're still on our own here at position 4. As you see there, Sato now sets the fastest lap of the race. Come around turn 11, and again we exceed the track limits. I think that's our second warning from memory, but you see now Spagbol's actually out of this race. Must have had a big moment coming out of that turn 11, 12 fast section. He's just come out of it a little bit there, and he's got that yellow flag. Sato's going even quicker now, so he's got some pace to burn in that Toro Rosso. And all of a sudden, we were starting to slowly catch Stinchy, and I think this may be the reason why. He was getting held up a lot by xBuRtonn, who is effectively a lap down, but it certainly wasn't ideal for Stinchy, but now he's going to have that Force India Mercedes-Benz engine power. He goes up the inside and gets past xBuRtonn, so which wasn't ideal for him, but it was ideal for me because I was able to catch him. But you can see there, we're definitely gapping Captain Farah. It's a long gap back to position 6, but might have just seen that in the top left. xBuRtonn was apparently showed up in 4th, even though I said he was 11th and a lap down. This must be a weird glitch because he was definitely not 4th. As we try to go around, he's outside, manages to leave us just enough room, and we go out the inside, and that is effectively still P4 for us, but it effectively fixed itself up on the graphic on the top left there. But you see there, we managed to cop our first 3-second time penalty for cutting a little bit at turn 1. I must admit it was only a little bit, but it didn't really hurt us that much. But continuing now on lap 24, Hyperdeuce there. Fortunately, he lost connection as well, so his car was driven by the AI. So, and that's the same as we come up now to Frizy in the Force India. Like I mentioned earlier, he had connection issues as well, so his car was driven by the AIs, but now goes ghosting straight through his AI-driven car. You see there, the tyre wear on lap 25. We're starting to get a bit into the 30s for 3 of the tyres. Anyway, the right front wasn't really too bad in the 24s, but I suppose why the rears were wearing out a lot is probably because of the wheel spin. But you see now, St. Williams Prime's actually retired from the session just before, looks like, turn 13, I think. I don't really know. But we'll find out anyways. We come up to the yellow flag section, and yes, there he is. So, oh dear me, he must have had a crash before the turn 13 section, because that's a weird spot to crash. But anyway, unfortunately, that's his race done. Not ideal, as he run a bit wide at turn 15. Which wasn't ideal for my case, but we started to catch Stinchy a little bit, but he's on board. I did say that Sato was actually coming back through the field with plenty of fastest laps, but now he's going to make the move on Captain Farah, and he'll get P5 pretty easily on fresh, super soft tyres. And even with the front wing, he's got plenty of rubber, and but unfortunately he disconnected on lap 27, so I doubt whether he would have called me, but Stitchy wasn't too far on the road from us, but we have a big moment, and we lose the rear end, and I thought that might have been the podium done and dusted. We might have to settle for position 4, but to help us even more, unfortunately, Lockie, who was actually leading the race, is out of this race. You can see why on board with his view, with his POV. So he comes around. That's xBuRtonn again. He's involved, and a little bit of legs involved, and he's hit the wall. Oh no! And Lockie was in a great position for the win for this race. It's just all gone downhill, and now that effectively, I feel so sorry for him because that could have easily been the win. But I'm now sort of thankful that that's actually put us effectively on the podium, which actually helped us a hell of a lot, I can tell you that. But the second last lap, that was the moment where Sato actually left the session, what we mentioned before. But here we are on the final lap of the race. And P3, I think P3 was pretty settled anyway. Unfortunately, he lost xBuRtonn right at the end. I think he might have had a few connection issues as well. But you actually see in the foreground, we actually started to catch back up to Stitchy. So if I had not made a mistake at turn 9, I probably would have had the opportunity to maybe have a crack from P2, but I did have that 3-second time penalty, so whether I would have gapped him enough or not, I don't know. But you see there, Ruthenick Bird has won the Australian Grand Prix in his Williams. Congratulations to him. His first win in ASR. Stitchy will just come home in second in the Force India, but this is it. What a debut. Pole position to P3. I'll take it any day of the week. Forza Ferrari. I gotta tell you guys and girls, I was so glad when I got onto the podium, but there's the results there on the screen. Really, it all pretty much says itself there, you can probably tell, but Drivers' Championship as well, that pretty much says it all for itself, but Constructors' Championship may look a little different because both McLaren drivers and Toro Rosso drivers actually scored double points, so it might change the table up a little bit, but we're at position 3, Ferrari in position 4 on the Constructors' Championship. Not a bad way to start the season, but yeah, that's where this video is going to end today, guys and girls. But if you enjoyed, then give it a big smash on that like button. If you have a comment, always leave it down below. If you haven't done so, be sure to subscribe to my channel for plenty more F1 2017, plenty more ASR video content, as well as some other video gaming content. And also, be sure to follow me on social media. All the links will be down in the description. But for the moment, guys and girls, it's goodbye, and I'll see you all next time.